Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Doctor here, Brent Justice, once again coming at you for another episode of my Let's Play series of Star Trek Online. And this video is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to play any missions in this specific video. I'm going to talk about some changes that I've done to Ensign Ricky off camera. If you notice, I am Lieutenant Commander 17, and that is a higher rank than I was from the last video that you saw. So I have done quite a bit of things off camera, and the reason why I have not recorded them is because they were rather boring. I have done a lot of replay missions with the new 2800 FE series that is currently going on right now, and I have done some replay missions of that to get level appropriate things for my character to get him all the gear I want. So this video, it's just going to be me. I'm going to be talking about the changes I've made to Ensign Ricky, the things I've done, the bridge officers that I've replaced, and I'm also going to talk about the skill system a little bit more, which I haven't talked a lot about. I'm going to talk about the bridge officer skills, and then of course your own skills, and then I'm going to talk about patrol missions and deep space encounters, which we haven't talked about yet, and we haven't even done yet, and I'm going to tell you why we haven't done those. So this video, no missions are going to be played. I'm just simply going to talk about all these things and show you what I've done to my character and stuff. So I apologize to this person, but so that I can talk without distraction, I'm going to go ahead and switch zones, and we'll go to a less populated zone so I can start talking to you guys about all this stuff. It was nice seeing everybody there at Ship Requisitions. I appreciate your attention. Okay, so here we are in the transporter room. Good place to talk. Alright, so first thing that I have done is I have got caught up on all episodes that you can currently play on the new 2800 series. If you look here, we have done Second Wave of Bajor and Operation Gamma and Facility 4028. The next one is Boldly They Rode, which is the last episode, and it hasn't come out yet. It'll be out this coming Saturday from my current recording. So we've done 4 out of the 5 episodes, and so from doing those missions, I of course have gained skill points and leveled up since you last saw me, and I had to replay a couple of them twice so that I could get all the rewards from those missions. So if we go to replay here, I can show you. If we go to replay on Second Wave,
you've faced the Borg.
I did not replay this one.
The collective is appearing with more frequency in the Alpha Quadrant now.
It comes with the
is facing repeated
Jem'Hadar
attacks.
full auto rifle.
We've been able to put.
I still have that full auto rifle. I have not replayed that mission because I'm just going to keep using the full auto rifle. The full auto rifle is part of a Jem'Hadar ground set that's a shield and armor and that full auto assault weapon. So I'm going to have all 3 on me so that I can get the full set benefits. I've done of Bajor several times, or once actually, and got the Jem'Hadar armor Mark IV. I have done Operation Gamma twice to get
Khan's ships are guarding the wormhole,
to get
so
the impulse engine and the deflector dish. And I have done Facility 4028 twice
the Federation Council
to get
has
the
authorized the
Jem'Hadar personal shield and the Jem'Hadar tactical officer. So right now I have a lot of very rare items, and they are a lot of Jem'Hadar stuff. Again, they're going to be Mark IV level because I'm only a Lieutenant Commander and about to be a Commander. So honestly, they'll be outranked. I mean, there'll be a lower mark from what I'm about to be. But I'm still going to use those same ones through Commander because they're still going to have pretty good stats. It's not really going to hinder me too much. So let me bring up my character here and show you what I've done. For Ensign Ricky, I have the Jem'Hadar Personal Shield Mark IV. You remember from the last mission I had that phase shifted personal shield. Um, Instead of using this shield, I decided to go ahead and put on the Jem'Hadar shield, even though this shield here gives me um, the psionic damage, reduces psionic damage by 19% for the Davidians. I've only got 2 episodes of that left, and I would rather have the full set benefits that the Jem'Hadar ground set provides. So I've got the Jem'Hadar shield, I've got the Jem'Hadar armor, and then you have to have the full auto rifle in one of your weapon slots. Of course, you can still switch between them, and it will like that. Like that, and you can still switch between them, and even though I'm firing now my anti-proton gun, I still get the set benefits because that auto rifle is still in my weapon slots. As long as it's there, you're going to get the sets. And when I'm talking about the set bonus is when you hover over one of these things, you'll see set to Jem'Hadar Shroud at the bottom. So if you have 2 of these items, you get a 2 set bonus. And then set 3, if you have 3 of these items, you get a combat triage subroutine. So I get 2 set bonuses if I have all 3 things on me. And when we right click and click on info, you're going to see that the Jem'Hadar Shroud, which is the 2 set, if you have 2 pieces, is a passive thing. And it gives a 5% chance when receiving all damage. It applies to Jem'Hadar Shroud, which is a plus 10% all damage for 6 seconds, and plus 400 stealth for 6 seconds. So that's a passive thing that will turn on automatically whenever it feels the need to. It's random, but it's a bonus that will activate on its own. And then for having all 3 of the pieces on me, I'm getting the combat triage subroutine, which is I have to activate it. It targets self. It's got a 3-minute recharge, but it gives you plus 76 hit points and plus 10 all damage resistance for 20 seconds and immunity to stuns and holds for 20 seconds. And you do have to activate it, and you'll see it right here in my bar, the combat triage subroutine, and it looks like this on my character when I activate it. So that's the third piece to having all 3 pieces on you. That's the 3rd bonus you get. So having this whole set on me, and if I could use this shield, but then I would lose that combat triage thing. So I just decided I'm going to go ahead and play these missions with all 3 on here. Now they might change this. This is kind of a unique situation right now because these you were allowed right now to play the 2800 series if you're a Lieutenant 9. So as long as you're a Lieutenant 9 or up, you can play this series. And that's the way the other FE series used to be. But as I've showed you, they've now integrated these FE series into the main storylines. So like the Riemann stuff, which we haven't done yet, that's coming up way down here. It starts with the Vault. They have really good rewards on this Riemann stuff, but I can't play it anytime I want. I have to wait until I get to, what's required to play it, and it looks like I have to be a Captain 34 before I can even play this. And so the advantage right now with this 2800 series being active is that I can play this at a Lieutenant Commander and get those rewards, get those items, that gear for myself now. But in the future, come season 6 or whatever, or however they do it, they could integrate this featured series into a main storyline somewhere. And my guess is they would put it right here under the Cardassian struggle. They'd put it as part of the Cardassian missions, which means you wouldn't even be able to play it until Captain or Rear Admiral lower half. So there may be a time when you're not going to have this option that I'm doing right now to play this mission and get this gear leveling up. And if that's the case, then this is still your best shield. Once you get to be able to play this mission Skirmish, you'll get that phase shifted shield, and that's still the best shield I would use. And then you'll just have to deal with whatever armor you can get from the exchange or wherever. So I'm taking advantage of something that may not be here in the future, but it's here now, so I'm going to use it. So that's what I've done there, and that will help me out. It's a full Jem'Hadar set, really nice. I also got the Jem'Hadar Tactical Officer. He's a reward from this mission. Again, I have no idea if he's always going to be a reward with this series. They may take him away and just make him a limited time offer where like you can get him now while this is running, but then weeks from now he may not be available anymore. I'm not sure if that's what they're going to do or not, but for right this second he's available, so I wanted to grab him, and of course I'll be getting him on all my characters so that I can at least have him in case they do take away the ability to get him. They've done that with the Breen, and they did it with the Reman officer that you could get with the Reman series. They removed those from it. So they may do that with the Jem'Hadar, so get it now or else. So I went ahead and got him, and since I was able to get him, of course I'm going to use him. He's a very rare officer, so he's going to be really good on the ground. He's going to have great ground abilities, and in fact he has some good ones. He's got Shroud, which is a unique trait, so all kinds of good stuff there. Engineered Soldier, which is another trait he has. I mean, +5 to melee, ranged weapons, critical chance, critical severity, so that's a really good trait. And then he's got Superior Stubborn and Superior Peak Health. So he's got a lot of good traits. He's a good ground character. I would say he's not good for space, but he's excellent for ground. So what I have done is I have removed and renamed all my bridge officers, and I brought in bridge officers that I've wanted. Now that I'm finally able to do that, I like to set things up a certain way, and I'm going to show you that way. First of all, on space, there are only 3 kinds of officers that affect space abilities. A human, which has a leadership trait that affects a space ability, or the liberated Borg, which has a trait that affects your power levels, or an efficient Saurian, which has a trait that also affects power levels. So if you have an efficient Saurian, which is, remember earlier in the video I sold one of those, you can put that on as one of your bridge station or bridge officers on your station, and it will help you with power levels. Alternatively, you can use that liberated Borg to do the same thing. And if you look on the liberated Borg, you'll see here passive, it's called efficient, and it's plus 7.5 Starship Warp Core efficiency. So as long as I have her stationed on the ship, which she is, as on one of the stations, then I'll get that bonus. Humans have a great ability, and their passive is called Leadership, and it's a space trait, and it's an innate plus 20% starship hull regeneration and plus 20 starship subsystem repair. So it helps repair your hull faster and your subsystems faster. So the way I like to do it is I like to have separate space bridge officers and separate ground bridge officers. Obviously you can't do this when you first start playing the game because you don't have enough bridge officer slots here. But once you get enough, which I have now, I'm able to do that. So what I've done is I have purchased a rare human for my tactical space. And she's not going to do ground, she's just going to do my space tactical. And when I get another tactical slot, I'll get another rare human to put as the space tactical. And so now I have, this is her right here, now I have, she's got nothing on ground because I'm not going to be doing anything with her on ground, but she's giving me that leadership trait on my ship. So that is very useful. And then of course for my engineering I have the liberated Borg giving me that trait for my warp core potential. And then my other engineer space for area here for space, I have also bought a rare human again, which has leadership, and here she is. Now I am not 100% certain that leadership stacks. The general consensus leans toward the fact that it does stack with diminishing returns. So I'm not getting plus 40% now. It may be like plus 30%. It stacks with diminishing returns, and I don't know what those diminishing returns are. So, but the way I like to do it is just fill up all my space stuff with humans. Because why not go ahead and take advantage of all that stacking leadership, right? So except for the liberated Borg, all my other slots are taken up by humans. And then I have separate away team characters that are taken up by aliens, which have special ground abilities. Now, I don't have enough slots actually to fill my science station with a human. So when I get another slot here, when I level up, then I'll replace my Anar that I just bought with a human. So then I will have human, liberated Borg, human, human. And that would be the most awesome setup right there. That's the best you can get. I mean, you'll have the best space traits available. So, I did buy an Anar. An Anar is an alien you can buy from the C-store if you go to personnel, and then right here, Federation Anar Bridge Officer Request, and then you can buy the Anar. The Anar has really cool ground trait, and in that it can, let's see if I can find it here. Well, I can just go here and show you. It has something called Project Image, and Project Image is a ground trait that allows him to, or her to, basically create a level 18 decoy projection for 30 seconds. So she creates a separate image. This is like, think of this like being done mentally or telepathically. She creates another image of herself, and that image of herself actually has a weapon, and that weapon she will actually fire on the enemy also. So it's like you have, all of a sudden you have a 5th bridge officer on you, and it lasts for a little while, and for 30 seconds, and she stands there. And the great thing about her is that she takes damage. She will take the heat off of you, so to speak. She'll aggro the enemy, so that all that's taken off of you, and it's her doubled image that's taking the damage, and she becomes exposed basically. So it's a really cool thing, and when it's in use, as we see it as we play, I'll show you when she uses it. I mean, it's up to her, she uses it randomly, but it's a really cool trait I have really come to enjoy on any of my characters. I like to have one Anar, and it makes sense to have the Anar go ahead and be my science officer, who is my healer. I will, of course, give her medical stuff so she can heal me as I level up. So I've got the Jem'Hadar, and I've got my Anar. I went ahead and bought a Breen. You can buy a Breen tactical person from the exchange. Again, this was a bridge officer that was available in the Defera FE series when it was available, and it was a limited time reward. His name was Tran. You could get him, and then of course they pulled him and you couldn't get it anymore. However, later on they made it available so that you could put him up on the exchange and sell him, and people had sold him, and he's not cheap. I bought this one for 2.3 million energy credits, and the cheapest one after that was 3 million, which is about what it's always been. But they're not cheap, so you need a lot of energy credits to buy him, and thankfully I had some from buying that efficient Saurian. So that allowed me to buy him, and now I'm down to 2.1 million. But he's got great ground abilities. He's not a good space character, but he's good on ground. He's got the superior cryo I-beam, which attacks foes. He's got superior cold dwelling trait, mental discipline, and soldier. So he's an awesome ground character, and he's tactical. And the Jem'Hadar is tactical, and he's got awesome ground stuff. And the Anar is science, but she's got that awesome ground thing. And then of course my liberated Borg, she has the Borg Neuroblast and Borg Nanites. So you can see where I'm going here with my ground stuff. I've got the A.k.a. who's going to be healing me, doing her cool stuff. I got the Jem'Hadar, who's a tactical officer, doing his cool stuff. Got my Borg doing her cool stuff. And then I got my Breen doing his stuff. So I have it just packed out on ground abilities. I mean, I will be a force to be reckoned with on ground abilities. All aliens, but they all have really unique ground abilities. And then for my space, I'm going to reserve that for all humans except for the liberated Borg, so I get that leadership ability. Because if I put any of these aliens on there, like the Breen, the Jem'Hadar, the A.k.a., they're not going to give me any space abilities, any space traits that help my space stuff. Only the human does. That leadership, again, very important. A lot of people don't know that, but it's useful. And so just put all humans on here and a liberated Borg, and then use aliens with their ground stuff for your ground, and you've got an awesome setup for ground and space. It's separate, ground and space, and that just works out so good. So that's what I have. And of course I had to change their powers to what I wanted, and in doing so you lose your skill points. I told you guys I was going to talk about skill points, and bridge officers have their own skill points for their own powers. So my tactical, for example, has in space beam overload 1. Well, you can skill that power that she has here in the ensign level power, and if you click on it, you will see it tells you about it, and it tells you what that ability does, and then it tells you what skill rank it's at. And right now I'm just at 1. I don't have enough skill points right now to bump it up. When you change powers on any of your bridge officers, it overwrites what's already there and removes those skill points. So those skill points are no longer there. So, but thankfully you can re-earn them, because as you play missions you gain bridge officer skill points, and you will find that you start building those back really fast. And when you get to the end game, that never stops. You keep building and building and building bridge officer skill points, so that you can keep changing powers as you need and then skill them up as you need. You'll have plenty by end game, and after end game you'll just have tons of bridge officer skill points you won't know what to do with. So that's not really a concern. It kind of is right now, because now beam overload 1 is not skilled up, so it's not going to be as powerful as it was before. But as I start leveling again and doing missions, I'll keep putting skill points in here, and eventually it'll get to a good place. By the time I'm captain, I'll probably have all the skill points I need in those that I can rank up. And it's good, I guess, in a way that you go ahead and get all your bridge officers set to how you want them earlier in the game. Because now that I have my officers how I want them, for example, I got my rare human here, my rare human here, my my A.k.a., my Borg. Now that I got them all set, I won't ever have to delete them. They're going to be my bridge officers all the way through this game. All I have to do is put the appropriate powers I want on them. But I will use them now forever. I have no reason to change my Tactical 1 officer now. She will always be my Tactical 1 officer for space. And I'll get another one, a Tactical 2 officer, when I have 2 tactical slots. And so on and so on. And so now I don't ever have to worry. Now I can skill up her stuff, beam overload, and I won't ever have to overwrite it again, because it's always just going to be there, because that's what I'm going to use throughout the whole entirety of the game. So that's why I wanted to get all my bridge officers in order now, so I can start skilling them up and not overwriting their skills constantly throughout the game and losing those skill points. So it is good to do that earlier in the game as you can. And so a good, bridge officer setup like this will really help you in this game. It'll help you in space, being able to withstand ships firing at you and being able to take ships out. It'll help you on ground, so you don't die as fast and you're able to take out enemies before they're able to take you out. All this stuff is important. Your bridge officer layout for ground and space, very, very important to playing missions in this game. Obviously, your space skills are really important if you want to do further things like PvP. Then the officers you choose for space and their powers become extremely important for that kind of thing. So that's a little bit about bridge officers. And then I have now talked about their skills, leveling up. You want to increase these. I'll show you guys when I do them. Here we go. Here's some that I already have maxed out. For example, on my Jim Hadar, I had enough left over to put skill here and here, and you can see I've got that maxed out for those two ground abilities. Your bridge officers are always a level behind you, and it makes sense because you would not want to captain people that are the same rank as you. That doesn't make sense. You captain people that are below you, or else you wouldn't be the captain, right? Everyone would be the captain. So your bridge officers are always a level below you. I'm lieutenant commander, and my bridge officers can only go up to lieutenant right now. When I become commander, then I can promote them to lieutenant commander and open up these slots. And then of course when I become captain, then I can unlock their final category, commander. All your bridge officers can only be commander. They cannot go above commander. Again, it doesn't make sense. You wouldn't have two captains on a ship. So that's how that works. And so as you can see, each bridge officer will have 4 total ground skills and 4 total space skills. And you can use those skills depending on how many slots you have available in your ship. For example, for tactical, I've only got this ensign slot here on this current ship, and this is ship dependent. So I can't use anything more than that, even though I have cannon, scatter, volley here as lieutenant power, and on and on and on. I can't use any of these because my ship is limited to an ensign slot only. This ship does have 2 lieutenant slots for engineering, ensign, lieutenant, and then ensign, lieutenant, and that's it. No more. Can't go any higher. And then it's got only 1 ensign slot for science, and that's it. Can't go any more. Different ships have different layouts, and so that becomes very important to determine what powers you want to use. Because some ships have more engineering slots, some have more science, some have more tactical. Some allow you to use higher ranked tactical, some higher ranked Borg, or higher ranked engineering, and then some higher ranked science. So this is where customization really comes into play, and your play style and how you want to play. Look at the powers you want to use. Look at if you want to do more science stuff or more engineering stuff, tanking, healing stuff, or more tactical stuff. Like if you're in an escort, you would want to go with more tactical stuff because you would use a lot of things like attack patterns and scatter and spread and cannon volley and all that kind of stuff. So you really have to look carefully at what ships offer. And as you gain rank in ship, and as we increase in tiers, right now I'm on a tier 2 ship, but as we go to tier 3 ship on the next commander, I'll have higher ranks. I'll probably have a lieutenant commander slot opened up on one of these, and it'll be a different layout. So then that'll be more powers I can use. And then finally, when you're at Rear Admiral, you'll definitely have one thing, either tactical, engineering, or science, that has all of its stuff maxed out, depending on what ship you get. If you get a science ship, you'll probably have a commander science. If you have a cruiser, it'll probably be engineering. And if you have escort, it'll probably be tactical. So you can play whatever ship you want to play. So that's how that works. You have to look at that real carefully and determine what powers you want to use and how you want to set all that up. So that's a little bit about bridge officers and their skills and their stations. All that's very important. I'm going to go real quick and go over with you guys one more time about bridge officer skills themselves and how you can retrain them. And I won't show you, but again, just reiterate, when you retrain a power on a bridge officer, you lose those skill points. You overwrite what's already there, but you will gain those skill points back. It just takes time of doing missions. So the bridge officer trainer is right here, and so let's say my tactical, again, it has all of them selected. You can filter it out by first unchecking everything, and let's say I want to look at tactical space, and now I'm only looking at tactical space stuff, and I got that beam overload on right here. If I wanted to change that power, I could do that right here under Ensign. That's the only power that would make a difference right now. I could change these other ones, which is under Lieutenant and on, but on this ship it's not going to make a lick of difference because I'm not going to be able to use it anyway. So the only one that I have to be worried about is this one under Ensign. And the power, of course, I wanted to use was Beam Overload 1. So that's on there. For my engineering space, I have two available. I have the Ensign and Lieutenant, so I've got Ensign and Lieutenant here. So my Ensign power on my Borg is the emergency power to shields, which I selected, and then on Lieutenant power I selected Engineering Team 2. That's a hull regeneration. So I have that there, and that's how that corresponds. Now here you'll notice there's one missing, and that's because I currently don't have enough skill points to promote my new officer that I bought. I don't have any skill points I can spend, so she's just kind of empty right now. I have her one power, and that's it. Her one Ensign power, which is emergency power to weapons, again, that I chose from up here. And I went ahead and selected directed energy modulation. Actually, I haven't. Let's do it now. Directed energy modulation on Engineer 1. And now you'll see this change here. There you go. That's her Lieutenant power. But it's not available yet to this station, and the reason is because she is only a an Ensign right now. I have to promote her to Lieutenant, but I can't promote her yet because I lack any skill points that I've spent on her. So I have to first skill this up to max, then I can promote her, and it will open up that Lieutenant option right here. So I'm missing a power until I get enough skill points to skill her up and promote her. So that's how that works. It sounds more confusing than it is, but all this is really pretty easy. Another thing I have done off screen is to go to the tailor, and I updated my outfits on everybody. You'll see they all have unique outfits. You can't change the Jem'Hadar. He's always going to look like that, and you can't change the Breen, but you can change everybody else. So I put them all in the Sierra 5 uniform and color coded it to their rank, or to their career. So my engineer is yellow, my ANAR is blue for science. The only one I left neutral was my Borg, because she is just this woman who is fierce, and she just goes her own way, right? She's like my right hand woman. So she's special. She gets to go white, and she's gonna look pretty sick out there when we're fighting. So I've kind of made them all some really good uniforms and made them all look similar in that way. So they're all coordinated. And I also updated myself, and I've got this, it's hard to see with the lighting in here, but I've got this Jupiter uniform on, and it's black, and you can't see it in this lighting, but I've got a dark purple in it, and it will come out as we're in the missions, but it will look pretty cool. I went ahead and put that on. I also made some other uniforms. If you right click on your name thing right here, is how you change your outfits. When you're if you don't have to go to the tailor to change your outfits, you just go change outfit and then select the outfit that you've named. So I've got the Jupiter 1 veteran uniform as well I can wear. I've got Sierra 5, just like my bridge officers, so I can look like them if I want to. I've got formal wear. I went ahead and put a suit on, so when I'm not playing, I can run around in this nice looking fancy suit. Of course, I've got my Mirror Universe look. I have the original series look, and I have Jupiter Veteran Decorated, and of course the Wrath of Khan, which we started out with. So I'm going to use my new Jupiter 3 outfit for now. So that's all that set up, and again, that extra power from the Jem'Hadar set, I put that right here so I can easily access it. And I got my weapons set, so I'm all looking pretty slick. Now that we've talked about all the ground stuff that I can think about, I don't think I've missed anything. I talked about the skills here in one of the previous videos, and I don't really want to cover it again. So I suggest going a few videos back, and I think I put it in the description where I was talking about the skill tree. And that's for myself, of course. Your bridge officers have their own skills, and then you have your own skills. And these are very important as well. I've been putting skill into them as I've been progressing in the game. And right now the one I'm working on is warp core efficiency. I want to get that up max because that affects all your power levels on your ship. So I want to get that up there. I'm really not messing much with the operations system skills. This is mostly for science officers, or if you have science powers, and I'm not going to be using a lot of science powers. The only two I'm really concerned about is the shield stuff, so that I can beef up my shields on my ship. But other than that, I'm going to be focusing on tactical systems. For example, I'll skip starship maneuvers, maybe, but like targeting systems and energy weapon specialization, projectile weapon specialization, that kind of stuff. Since I'm using beams, they're a little less powerful than cannons. I definitely want to probably work toward an energy weapon specialization. Structural integrity, I'll be worrying about my hull strength and shields because I'm a cruiser. I want to beef all that up and I'll be awesome. And then ground stuff, I'm going to put skill into the kit powers that I use. And then obviously when I get here, turrets and drones, that's one I'm looking at for the future. PS generator is for my ground shields. I want to max that out too, so I have good ground shields. So yeah, that's just how I'm doing it. Again, just hover over everything, read, and select the power you want here, and it highlights what affects that power. And that's just as easy as it is. I mean, you just hover over that, and you can see it highlights stuff here as I'm hovering over it, and that tells you what skill affects that power. It's that easy, so you can easily see what you need to put skill into. So now that we've talked about ground, let's talk about my ship. Like I said, I have replayed some of the Jem'Hadar missions, or whatever they are, yeah, Jem'Hadar missions, and I went ahead and got the Jem'Hadar deflector dish and the Jem'Hadar combat impulse engine. So now I'm using a very rare deflector and a very rare impulse engine. It does change visuals on the ship. The only one that's missing is the shield, and we'll get that in the last episode of the series. And then once I get the shield, I'll have the complete set, and that will change the look of the ship. I don't know what exactly it'll look like yet, but it will change the appearance of the ship. I'm guessing it's going to be something purple, but it'll probably look very cool. The only thing about these sets, both ground and space, is they have to be the same mark level, or you don't get any of the set bonuses. So if I put a Mark 6 Jem'Hadar shield on here with these two Mark 4s, I would not get the bonuses, because they're different mark levels. They all have to be the same mark level. And if you hover over this, you'll see the bonuses I get. One is called Dominion Synergy for having two sets, which I have right now. And then set 3, for having all 3 sets, you get something called Anti-Proton Sweep Victorious Life. So if I click on Info, we can look at Dominion Synergy, which I have right now because I have 2 of the pieces. It's a passive power, and it gives plus 3.5% Polaron damage and plus 7 Starship power insulators automatically. So that's awesome. Now, um, when I get the three-piece, all three pieces, I will then get this anti-proton sweep, which looks like it's a power I'm going to be able to activate. And negative 300 shields, 2-minute recharge, disables cloaking systems for 10 seconds. These kind of powers are going to be really good on the Romulans. Once I get to the Romulan storyline, this stuff is going to be really good on the Romulans because they use a lot of cloaking and they use tractor beams. I like to hold you and stuff like that. This stuff's going to be good. Now, Victory is Life, I was just reading, you actually can't use that. You have to have a Jem'Hadar attack ship to get that. So, I won't get that. I don't have a Jem'Hadar attack ship. I'm not going to get one, so we won't get that. But we'll get the Dominion Synergy and the Anti-Proton Sweep with the full set. So let's beam up to the ship. And the great thing about these are that I can replay these missions when I become, let's say, Commander. I can replay these missions and then get the Mark 6 level variants. So that will give me skill points, and it will also get me the new gear. I don't necessarily need to, though. I think they'll still be powerful enough, even at Mark 4. One issue I'm running into, I've still got a problem with, is the fact that I'm Lieutenant Commander 17. I'm coming up on becoming a commander. I mean, I'm very close. I'm 3 away from commander. And we're not even, I don't know, halfway through the Klingon stuff yet. Let's see, we are halfway through. We're down here. But then after Night of the Comet, which ends the Davidian stuff, we got the Ultimate Klingon, the Doomsday Device, City, On the Edge of Never, and Past Imperfect. We still got several missions before I even start the Romulan stuff. So that means I'm going to be well into Commander before I even start the Romulan stuff. I may be a high-end Commander before I start this stuff. And I think we're just leveling way too fast. I mean, I'm literally going to hit Vice Admiral and still have all the Cardassian stuff to do, probably. And then all the Borg and Undine and stuff. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't like the fact that we're leveling so fast, because what's the point after you get to Vice Admiral? I mean, yeah, you can finish the missions, but I mean, the fun for me is leveling up. It's getting the new gear at each rank and advancing my characters and my ship and everything, and leveling so fast. I'm like, holy crap, I haven't even finished the first storyline mission, and I'm already almost a commander. That's just ridiculous. It never used to be like that, and I don't like it the way it is. It doesn't make sense to me. Why are they rushing you to the end? Once you get to the end, you find there's nothing else. So why rush to the end? It doesn't make sense. Wouldn't you want to take your time and get there? That's my opinion anyway. Alright, so on my ship, because I have the deflector and the engine on, you'll see I've got purple trails coming out of my impulse engine. So that's because of the Jem'Hadar engine. And the deflector didn't really change anything. I was hoping it would do something to the deflector. It did not change it. But I do have that purple trails on my impulse engine. And once I get the shield, it is supposed to change your whole ship, the textures or whatever. I'm guessing it's going to make all this stuff in here and the nacelles and stuff purple. I don't know yet. But I'm sure it'll be really cool. So I look forward to seeing what that looks like. But at least I've got a really good deflector and a really good engine at this level of the game. I mean, you just can't get any better at it right now. And here is that passive bonus I'm getting because of the two-piece set called Dominion Synergy. It's passive. It's always there. So I've got that now that I got two pieces on. And because I was leveling up and have gained in rank, I gained another engineering power. And it is one of my favorites, and it's called EPS Power Transfer. Of course, I've only got level 1 right now, but it's plus 15 all power settings for 30 seconds and plus 102% power transfer rate. So, look at my power levels right now. 108 on weapons, 59 on shields, 37 on engine, and 37 auxiliary. Now when I hit this, watch what they go up to. Now I've got 123 on weapons, 74 shield, 53 engine, and auxiliary. All my weapons power, all my powers have increased, and it lasts for 30 seconds, and there's a 2-minute cooldown. But all these power levels will stay like that for 30 seconds, so you can go, you can fight your enemy with heightened power levels. So that's really good against, a tough enemy or a battleship or something like that. Now they go back down that the timer has run out. There they go. They're back down to normal now. So, of course, there are 3 levels of this. You've got EPS power transfer 1, 2, and 3, which will auto level up as you level up. So I look forward to that. I love that power. As an engineer, that's my favorite starship engineering power, I think. All right. Everything else I think you've seen. Oh, I did purchase a Yellowstone runabout ship because I had to play the Operation Gamma episode. You have to fly a shuttle for that mission. I went ahead and purchased the Yellowstone runabout, which is the new runabout that was just released, and it's a very fun. I do recommend it. It's a really good shuttle. I had no problems running Operation Gamma with it. It was very maneuverable, and it was very powerful. I was able to take out the worker bees and the Jem'Hadar attack ship. You have to take out really easily with the stuff that came on the ship. I didn't have to put anything else on it. I just used default what it came with and was easily able to do that mission with that shuttle. Very, very, very good shuttle. I'll be using that in any shuttle mission that I have to do in the future. And so because you purchase that shuttle, you get a shuttle pet. So if I click this, I now have a Yellowstone shuttle that follows me around. It doesn't attack, it doesn't do anything, but it will follow me around everywhere I go. Not useful in the least, but but there it is. It's a really good looking shuttle. I like the Yellowstone. Let's see, what else? I think that's pretty much it. We've covered what I've done on my ship. We covered all the bridge officer changes I've made, and their powers and stuff. I can't wait to see them in action, and I'm gonna make the next video immediately right now, and do the next Davidian mission, because I want to see my bridge officers in action. I cannot wait to see the Jem'Hadar do his stuff. Also, I have been dabbling a little bit in duty officer assignments as I've been running through the different sectors and stuff. Or I had to, oh look, I lost 2 people. See, this happens. You can, these common ones, these common, they're not bridge officers, these common duty officers, sometimes you lose them in missions. And I was doing a diplomatic mission, and it was a complete disaster. And I lost 2 of my officers. That really sucks. That must have been one heck of a diplomatic mission. So there's nothing I can do about it except acknowledge report. I've got 2 others running right now. And we don't have any Diplo here. As I continue to go through different sectors and stuff, I'll continue adding new diplomatic assignments as we go through them, because I really do want to get that diplomatic stat up. So that's where we're at right now, and I am going to go record our next mission. So if you sat through all that talking, bless you. Bless you. I know that was probably very boring, but bless you. Thank you so much for listening. And now we're going to get on with doing our missions. Okay, so you probably just now recognized there was a very weird cut, and this video is actually not over. I just realized after I recorded this video, I completely forgot to talk about patrols and deep space missions that I was also going to talk about. So I apologize for that. This video is not quite over yet. Give me a few more minutes. The reason I want to talk about patrols and deep space encounters is because you won't find them in the game anymore. Well, you will, but it's extremely difficult. Cryptic has completely changed the way patrols and deep space encounters work in this game, and I do not like it. In the past, you were able to click your hail button, go to available, and it would list all the patrols that you could do. I've got one now. It has System Patrol. Um, but, I mean, it's not like it used to be. What would happen is, as you leveled up in appropriate level and rank and all that stuff, new patrol missions would open up. And it would say, you know, like this one says Ear has System Patrol, and it would say, this is just one system though, and the way that it used to be would be like a whole sector block of patrols. Like you would have the Vulcan sector, and you would have 3 patrols where you have to visit 3 star systems in here, and then Orion sector where you visit 3 star systems in here, and then Risa sector 3, and then on and on and on in each little sector block. And it was cool because what a patrol was that there's something going on in that star system, and you as a Starfleet officer have to go to that star system, figure out what's going on, and take care of it. And it might be that enemy ships are nearby, and you have to take out 3, 4, 5, 6 groups of ships, or it might be that you have to take care of a dispute on a planet that's taking place, or it might be that there's just simply an alien artifact on a planet and you have to go scan it and then report that to Starfleet. Those, I think, are things that make this game feel like Star Trek. Now, there were a lot of complaints about some of them because some of them felt very grindy to people, where you had to do there were like 6 groups of ships you had to take out, and that seems like a lot. It really wasn't. Sometimes it felt repetitive, but in the old way the game used to be, where it took a long time to level up, you had to do those things to get enough skill points to level up. So it was like, you know, you just did patrols, and you did them, you know, as you were leveling up, so you could get those skill points you needed, which helped you so that you were a higher rank when you did the storyline missions. Because the way the storyline missions used to work is they were always the same level, and if you were a higher level than them, well, that helped you out because it really made the mission much easier to play because you were a higher level, a higher rank. But the way they are now, the missions level with you. So they're not just one level. They are whatever level you are now. So it doesn't really matter. And they've really changed all this, and it's crazy. But you can't just go and do patrol missions anymore. And I don't like that because I thought it was a good part of the game where you could go do that. The way it came up in the missions was, you know, it wasn't attached to the main storyline missions. They were completely separate. It's not part of any of these. It's just a separate thing. It made the game feel like there's more content, because there was more content. And the way it is now, it seems like the only content is the storyline missions. Well, it didn't used to be that way. There used to be a whole separate thing that, to me, was pretty awesome, and they took it out. Well, they didn't completely take it out. I take that back. They just made it extremely difficult to do and find, and made it not relevant, basically, because it's not in your mission list here. It doesn't come up here in your available stuff to do. So let's warp out, and I'm going to show you how to do a patrol mission. I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to show you how you can start one now. And I have no idea if you have to be a certain rank to do them now, or if they don't show up until you're a certain rank. I don't know how that works, because I think it's all crap. But apparently, and what people have told me, is now you have to physically fly to the star system you want to go to and see if there's something going on. The problem is, how do people know what star system to go to? They don't, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to fly to every single star system to see what's going on. Yeah, I'm a bit frustrated by it. So let's go to the K system here. Okay, yes, alright. So I've flown to this star system, and now I got a pop-up that says Patrol K system. And it doesn't tell me what it does. Let's see, Patrol, yeah. It's just going to take me right into it. It's not even going to tell me what I need to do until I get in here. Well, that's ridiculous. That's not the way it used to work. Now it says, engage your Orion Raiders and defend the miners. So now I can do this patrol mission, right? But that's not the way it used to work. You didn't have to physically fly to every single one and see, on the chance of luck, if there's a patrol there. How do you know when there's one there? How do you know if there's one not there? I liked being able to bring this up, seeing what patrols were available, to me, clicking hail, accepting it, and then it would tell you on the side here which star systems you need to fly to. It may list 3 or 4 of them, and it would say fly to here and do this, fly to here, and then you would go do each one, and then the next one, and then the whole thing would be done. You'd turn it in and you'd get skill points, rewards, whatever. And that was awesome. And the way it is now, you can still do patrols. Like obviously here I am, I can do this patrol, but you have to physically fly to the star system to find it. So I don't know if like all of them are just automatically turned on. Could I fly to, let's say, Pycanis, Cyvalorum, Alpha Centauri? Could I fly to one of those systems there right now and see if, you know, a patrol mission is available in all those sectors? I don't know. Got me. So maybe you guys will have to figure that out on your own. I'm not going to do patrol missions in the series because they do take a lot of time, and there are a lot of them. I mean, there's a ton of them. But I don't know. It's crazy. See, there's not one here at this star system. Let's go over here to Pelmy. Here's one at Pelmy, Patrol Pelmy system. So that's how you do them now. You'll fly to the system and see if there's a patrol. And who knows if there will be one or not, but and as you can see, there's a ton of systems in each sector block. So good luck flying around, friends. Have fun with that. Deep space encounters are also kind of the same way. Here's one down here. They don't show up like they used to, but there used to be a mission where you would have to go do, say, 3 deep space encounters, and then you get a chunk of points for it. And then you'd also get accolades and stuff. Well, that stuff doesn't quite exist anymore. Now, if you want to do a deep space encounter, you pretty much have to find one that's open like this, and there's one way back there, and fly into them and start them yourself. Like here, now that I'm close enough, I can do engage deep space encounter and engage enemy. So you can still do them, but there's really no point to do them unless you just want to practice. Eliminate Klingon ships, and now you have to eliminate Klingon squadrons, and there are other people in here right now, but there's no reason to do these deep space encounters. They've made these missions, you know, there's just no reason to do them. They've made them pointless, I guess you could say. So yeah, they can be fun, but what do they do for you? Not much. There's no reason. Yeah, that's how I roll. So, you know, this stuff is all still there, patrols, deep space encounters, but they've changed the way it works, and they have taken away the need to do patrols. They've taken away the need to do deep space encounters. They've taken the gameplay experience of them away, and now they're just completely optional things that nobody does hardly anymore because you don't need to, and you're better off just doing the storyline missions. And at the rate we're going, leveling up with the storyline missions, we're gonna hit Vice Admiral, you know, real soon. So there's really no point in doing these things. I don't need the skill points from patrols or deep space encounters. I don't need those skill points because I'm getting too many already, and that's the problem. They need to scale the skill points back some so that the need to do patrols and stuff is there. And if they brought them back in the Hail menu where I could go and add them as missions like I used to be able to do, then that would be awesome. But I know they're not. I think they eventually want to get rid of deep space encounters altogether. I don't know. They're going in a different direction. Not one that I particularly like, but what can you do about it? So now I have explained patrols and deep space encounters. I will not be doing patrols in this Let's Play series. There are a ton of them, and it would take a whole nother series to run through all of them, to be honest with you. It would take 100 videos probably. There are that many. So good luck. If you guys want to do them on your own, have fun. See y'all in the next video.